Friday Football Fever, sponsored by GTCC and Shift Ed.
Welcome into Friday Football Fever here in week 10. Yeah, I said week 10 of the high school football season.
It's crazy. The weather had it feeling like week 1 or 2 instead of week 10.
It did. It felt really nice outside, but we're coming down to the final weeks of the regular season. The stakes are heating up, and so is the pressure, you guys.
Yep, so now let's hit the page for our GTCC game of the week as they hosted Grimsley. And the Pirates, they were looking to play spoiler, hoping to hand Grimsley their first loss of the year, but the Tennessee commit quarterback Faison Brandon was having none of it. Here he is finding a wide open Hudson Cooper for the first score of the night, 7-0 Whirlies. Going the other way, watch Christian Brown find himself a lane to run through and rips off this huge gain to get the first down, cut down after a gain of 17 for the Page first down. However, 2 plays later, Nigel Henson's pass is picked off by E.J. Davis. And this ball is going the other way. A few plays later, Whirley's down on the goal line, so you know who's getting the ball, Logan.
Who? Mitchell Summers.
Punching it in, making it 13-0. Whirley's and the band was breaking it down all night long because Grimsley was flying around on both sides of the ball. Page looking to make something happen. Here's the Duke commit, Bryce Davis, coming up with the tackle for loss, putting the end to the Page drive. As Grimsley remains undefeated, they knock off Page 54-7.
Now, Dudley entered tonight's game against Southern Guilford 8-0 with an offense averaging 52 points per game. Yes, you heard me right. The Panthers defense has given up 13 points all season. In the first quarter, the Panthers get on the board first when Jaden Brown punches it in, so Dudley leads 7-0 early. Now, on the ensuing kickoff, Jalen, Southern just can't get a handle on it. Everybody, I know everyone is fighting for it, but Dudley defensive back Darian Coleman comes away with it. But Southern's defense holds on strong. Take a look at this. Amir Tibbs takes down Braden Jeffries, forcing the Panthers to punt, but it is all Dudley in this one. Jeffries with the quarterback keeper. He takes it into the end zone himself to extend the Panthers' lead as Dudley rolls to a 48-0 win.
Now let's head out to Reidsville Community Stadium where it was senior night as the Rams look to up their record to a perfect 9-0 with a win over High Point Andrews. And we get the ball started with Jariel Cobb on the carry, and he's going to take this thing from 35 yards out to the house, making it 7-0. Reidsville. There's going to be a whole lot of scoring from the Rams. Here's quarterback Deontay Neal, goes up top, and he finds Jakari Penix for the touchdown.
Back spot.
Comes the Andrews. Back comes Andrews, though. It's Darian Avery, breaks free, round the edge, carries defenders into the end zone as he scores for the Raiders. The Raiders cutting that lead down to 7. But back comes Neal, rolling out again. This time, he finds Janias Sharp all alone in the back of the end zone for another
He just airs it out.
Yeah, he's just letting it rip. More from Neal here. He finds Kendra Harrison on a little out, and the big fella does the rest, rumbles his way into the end zone for the score. And check this out. Freshman quarterback Braxton Johnson got it, throws, hits Cameron Jones for his first varsity TD pass.
That's
Congratulations,
exciting.
Braxton.
Yeah.
Reidsville rolls 70-16. And if you want to learn more about this historic Reidsville Rams football program, check out our 4-part docu-series titled Heart of the City, Reidsville Rams. Episodes 1 and 2 are out now for you to enjoy streaming exclusively on WFMY+, which can be found only on Fire TV, Roku, or Apple TV. Each episode is about 25 minutes or so, and I promise you it's worth every second of your attention.
Now let's head down Highway 220 South to Randleman. Head coach Shane Timmons and the Tigers put their unbeaten record on the line against Trinity. Now Randleman won the coin toss, and Jalen, I'll tell you, they looked like an 8-0 team. At the start of the game, quarterback John Kirkpatrick hits Chase Farlow for a 1st and goal. Kirkpatrick then keeps the next snap for himself. He fights off multiple tacklers. He's dragging 1, 2, 3 guys down for the touchdown. But Trinity came with a chip on its shoulder. Buck Rogers slices through the defense for the long gain. Jalen, the couple plays later, Zorn Williams takes the handoff in for the 3-yard touchdown. So the Bulldogs take the lead, but the turnovers were the difference maker tonight. Kirkpatrick hits Farlow, but the ball pops out. No. Trinity defensive back Caden Fuller scoops it up and returns it to their own 47-yard line. Jalen, after being beaten by winless Wheatmore in overtime last week, Trinity goes on to hand Randleman its first loss of the season. 21-19.
Well, I tell you what, we love a good upset, don't we, Logan?
Now on the other unbeatens in action tonight, East Forsyth wins the Battle of Kernersville, beating Glen 49-6. Northern Guilford goes on the road and tops Western Guilford 49-14. Now two-time defending state champion Mount Airy ups their record to 9-0, beating Elkin 49-6. And Eastern Randolph is up 49-6 over Wheatmore in the fourth quarter, ahead of next week's matchup with Randleman.
Southeast Alamance is now 9-0 after shutting out Graham 63-0. And High Point Christian, well, they will enter the NCISAA playoffs with a perfect record after the Cougars top Covenant Day 49-21. Those playoff brackets will come out this weekend. And now let's head to Winston-Salem as Mount Tabor. They met up with conference rival Reagan tonight. And we start with the 4-star recruit, Snook Peterson, on the jet sweep, round the edge, and just watch him work. Cutting, make one man miss. He got another one coming. Oh, you see you there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more guys can't bring him down. They finally get him down right outside the goal line. They would go on to score. Now later in the quarter, it's Peterkin again. This time at QB, he hits the Notre Dame commit Jadon Blair for the tug, making it 15-7 Mount Tabor. Reagan on offense now. They're looking for a big play, but Jadon Blair has other plans as he intercepts the pass for Mount Tabor. However, the Spartans would not score off the turnover. Back come the Raiders. It's Brennan Pridgeon hitting Carson Bowman over the middle for that huge chunk you just saw there, which set up this. The freshman, John Evans Jr., rushing that thing around the left edge into the end zone, cutting Mount Tabor's lead to 2, but the Spartans win this thing 29-13.
Now back to Greensboro now as Northwest Guilford made the trip over to take on Southeast Guilford. Now we're tied at 7 in the second. Northwest quarterback Anders Mitchells tries to find a receiver, but it's tipped. Southeast Kingston Davenport comes away with the interception to keep it a tie game heading into the locker room. Now on the opening kickoff in the second half, Rakeem Hammock back to return. Jalen, you can just tell this meant more to the sophomore. He takes it 95 yards to the pass. Yes, to give the Vikings the lead. Now a play like that could be
that play on the track.
I know, seriously. But Jalen, a play like that could be a momentum changer, right?
Absolutely.
But the Eagles respond. Senior captain Ian McKinnon gets the handoff, finds the end zone to tie it up. It was a close one, but Northwest Guilford pulls away with a 21-14 win. Now it's time for our Friday Football Fever Shift Ed Play of the Week. For this one, we go back to the Grimsley-Page matchup. Worley senior Josiah Hussey blocks the Pirates' field goal attempt. Teammates Chris Young scoops up the loose ball. He's off, taking it all the way in for the touchdown. Love a nice little scoop and score. Absolutely. It's the Young house call on the fumble return for our Friday Football Fever Shift Ed Play of the Week. We're coming down to the wire in the regular season. We've got 5 big games in the running for our next GTCC game of the week. Now, all of these games have conference title implications.
I love it.
Yeah, we love that. Southeast Alamance takes on Cummings. Eastern Randolph hosts Randleman. Northern Guilford travels to Grimsley. Central Davidson meets up with Oak Grove, and West Forsyth kicks off against East Forsyth. Those are all really good matchups. Just head on over to WFMInews2.com and click the Game of the Week story to cast your vote.
We've got a big slate of games tomorrow on the college gridiron. North Carolina, they look to snap a 4-game losing streak at UVA. Winston-Salem State is in action at home against Johnson C. Smith. App State will play their first home game since Hurricane Helene in a Sun Belt showdown with Georgia State. Wake Forest is out west taking on Stanford in an ACC matchup. North Carolina A&T, they're at Campbell. Duke welcomes 22nd ranked SMU to Durham in Brown. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Friday Football Fever, guys. You're just flying by. Got some great football in store this weekend. I can't wait.
Yeah, I have actually I'm in a pick 'em league. Pick Duke as my upset this weekend.
All right, well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, me too.
Have a good night.
Friday Football Fever, sponsored by GTCC and Shift Ed.